that's nice. My stand is actually long enough. I was just thinking, because maybe this stand was, you know, LT77, I bet it was for the V8s which had the long shaft. I'm thinking about modernising this by just bolting some wider pieces so that it pulls this together a bit, because it's right on the edge, like me. So what we're going to do is we're going to work out the end float off this one first, off the main shaft, because we've got to take the casing off, but this one seems rather tight, so I'm going to have to find another thinner shim to put in there so we can calculate which one we want. It's kind of tricky, and if you've done this before you'll know it's a bit of a pain. It's like hit and miss really. Right, let's get set up to put the gauge on. Because my mag mount here has only got a limited range, I made this out of a piece of pipe. I've just got a 8mm bolt and bolted it through a reducer, and then put a bit of pipe fitting on and another thing on there, so my gauge will now sit on there. So that's going to make life a little bit easier, you know, instead of moving things around. I don't know if you can see it back there, look. You should be able to, yeah, there it is, look. So we're going to screw that down. We've got two bolts opposite to pull the cover down. I've got a ball, little ball there, look. And then we're going to put the ball in the thread up there, fill that hole up. And we're going to get our gauge out. That goes on there. Let's turn it on it. We're on inches, we want millimetres. We want there. We want turn the blue thing off now. We want 0. There we go. All we've got to do now is find out a way to lift that up to find out what the actual setting is. Can you see that? Can you see up there? Wait a minute, I can't move my camera now the bloody thing keeps dropping down. Yeah, you should be able to see that. Right, how are we going to do that? How are we going to do that, Dave? Let's put a hose clip around it. Every time I do this, it's always a different way. Put a hose clip round it so we've got something to lever off. See, it's gone back down to 10. 9. You know, you've got to, it's a problem because it's got new bearings in and things like that. I'm not sure if you can see what I'm actually doing. So we're going to set this to 0 again. There we go. Put a lever under. How come it's gone to negative? That's all loose now. That's probably it. Push some weight down. Right. 6, 7. Sometimes these digital things are good, but sometimes they're a pain in the ass. Well, depends where we... Should be alright. I'm checking the shaft at the bottom here to see if it's kind of rigid. Ooh. But I want to get that to 0. There. I'm going to keep some weight on the shaft. 10. 10. Like Dudley Moore. So the upper one needs 10. Now of course, doing this little chap here poses a problem too, because it's pretty tight. It might be alright, if you see what I mean. So what we'll do is we'll swap things around. What we'll do is we'll put 10 thou in this one here. You're supposed to do them individually, right? You're supposed to not put all the assemble together. Do the lay shaft, do the main shaft, and then assemble them all together. It's a pain in the backside. You can easily lift them up and down. It's not too much of a problem. Just out of interest, I'm going to try and measure this one. I like this little Mac mount. It's kind of cool because there's all sorts of permutations you can put it into, except you can't get your ball out. Yeah, look, there it is. Pop the ball in top of it. We do a ball because there's a hole in the top. I can't get quite into that one. Again, we'll put a hose clip around it. It is a tedious job. I suppose if you do them every day, it's really easy. You can see how that. Right, that's close. Two. Oof. I think it felt about right. Let me take the cover off, put a 10 extra shims in, 0.10 of a millimetre in here, and let's see what we've got. Right, this is, I've messed about with the shims because we got a shim kit from Ashcroft's. The suffix K and L shim kit is different to the suffix J, which I already have. I don't do many K's and L's. But anyway, it's increasingly difficult to adjust this bloody gauge here. So what I've done is, I've got this one was absolutely spot on when we put that extra, what did we put into it? 10.1 millimetre, and it feels really nice. It just feels about right, holding my big end of my shaft. This one here, I took it down to 1.6 millimetre here, and it's increasingly difficult to zero this gauge because it goes from the sublime to the dricky. As soon as you touch it, it changes. So what we're going to do is adjust it the best we can. Oh. Well, there. 0. Can you see that? Now remember, it was 167 before, and now I took down to 1.6. Alright, so now if we lift this up, we should have some clearance, in theory. Seven, 8. So we were about right. I'm going to double check on the measurements, but I think we're about right. That shim that we took out was absolutely blob on. So we're going to put it back in again. I'm just going to check out on here, because I haven't done these suffix L's before. So I'm just going to check out what is the allowable clearance. You know, is there preload or no preload? I don't know. We'll see. Right, I've got the data here. And it says the end float setting for the main shaft and lay shaft is 0.01 to 0.06 millimeters. So it's kind of a, you know, it's a fairly chunk. So in other words, there's no preload on it. So I've got this, after a lot of messing about, got it to 0. So now we're going to put a bar on it, because this has got the 160 shim in it. I'm going to lift it up. 0.07, it's actually within sort of range type of thing. That's not bad. See how it goes back down to, you know, it won't go back down to 0 again. No, yes, it does there. Look at that. Call me a liar. I know you're not supposed to do both at the, you know, like you're supposed to do one, take it out, do the other one, blah 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 blah. You know, you're going to be messing about there for ages. I'm going to put the original shim in. Yeah, let me have a look at that. It's gone down to 0 again. I'm going to try it again. 7. See what I mean? So it's 7. So if we can get... Well, that's what it was before, wasn't it? It was 6, 7. So that'd be 0. Ah, let's do that. It'll be actually 0. It'll be good. Ah, that's all right. We'll forget that then. Right, let's get that out of there. Let's get that off here. Put the 167 shim back in here. This one, I'm going to check this one again just in case. Just in Trudeau, just in case. Hey, let's have a look at this one, because this one's not too bad to do. I might have got it wrong. It has been done. Right, where's my ball? Here. There we go. And 0 there. Ooh, got that first time. Ish. So that's a 0.01. 0. And lift it up. Ooh. 0.4. I'm going to leave it at that because that's pretty damn good. So we're going to replace the original shim in here with a 167. It should be good. Now remember, when these bearings all get settled down and loosened, settled down, they will get a little bit sort of bigger. You know what I mean? I don't know. So let's try that. Let's put this one, the original shim, back in. Then we'll test it again.